viewers, I want to welcome you once again to our channel, LELL, Learn English Language. Today, like I promised in the previous videos, I want to look at writing informal letters, and I will be as quick as possible because this is actually a very simple topic anyway. Our objective today is that at the end of this video, you should be able to know the outline of an informal letter and then also have an exposure to samples of friendly letters, and at the end of it all you should be able to write a friendly letter. Okay, I want to say that you should enjoy the video. We're going to begin by talking more about friendly letters, what they are. Most of us know them as personal letters or friendly letters, but they can also be referred to as informal letters, so the name doesn't matter. This moment I want to say that friendly letters are actually written to people that we know so much, people that are relatives to us, and they are always written for rather personal issues rather than official intentions. So the close people can be our parents, can be our friends, can be our peers, can be our relatives, can be any person that we are so much linked to. Is the address that I want us to look at particularly. We agree that we're going to be following the approach style of writing, or what we call indented style of writing. So our address, if you're a student, this is what you should particularly follow. Okay, capitalize each and every letter, the first letter of your item in the address, and then because that is actually considered to be a complete sentence, and then put a comma at the end of every sentence in the address apart from the last line, which actually has a city, a town, or a country, or a state. That's the one which takes a full stop. And then also you can skip a line before you put the date, or you can leave it. For some countries, for examinations, they prefer that they skip lines, others prefer that they don't. But currently in Uganda, if you skip a line, it is okay. If you don't skip, they also mark you. So, but to be much more smart, you have to maybe skip a line before you write the date. Write a full stop after your date, and then we have the th. These are actually the words, the letters that we use when we are referring to the dates. If you're writing, for example, 10th, 4th, 15th is what we always use. Then you have second, you have first, then you have third. This should sit on the same line with the date. Don't put them above the date. That would be wrong if you're a student. Okay, and then we can have a sample of our address that we have been talking about. We say that the very first letters should be capital. This is capital, this is capital, and this is capital. Then we said we're using British style, so we are supposed to indent. We assume there's a line here that is slanting. Then your first line has to end with a comma, the second with a comma. The line which ends with a full stop is the only that line which has a district or a country or a state. Instead, you can skip a line before you write that date, and then your date should stand on the same line. You assume there's a line here, okay? There should be a line here, so it should be on a straight line, okay? So we shall continue with our outline. On our second item of the outline of an informal letter, we said we can look at the salutations, and this one is actually just the greeting. You always say dear sir, dear mommy. These are the ones that you always use. So if you know the people very well, you can say dear Justin, dear Grace, dear Ronald, just if you know their name. But now we have some people who, even when it is an exam, they have these very extended greetings. Avoid these extended greetings if at all you are looking at an exam, because they're actually going to enlarge your letter, and yet letter should be brief enough. Okay, then number 3, we have the body. This is actually a major part of our letter. Without a body, then you have not written a letter. It is the one which contains the message or the communication of your letter. Why you're writing is explained in your body. Okay. Maybe the other thing that we have to emphasize is that we should not skip lines, because to be considered to be a disjointed essay or a disjointed Closing remarks, these are the remarks that you are going to give. For example, you say, I hope you reply, that was how I feel, and I know you would be feeling the same thing, so I would expect you at least to reply to know. So those are just the closing remarks or the conclusion. Okay, then we have the information sometimes that you put. Some of us have got used to this. Yours sincerely, and that one is always combined with the signature and then the name of the person who is writing. Okay, and you for this one is much more formal. It is much more used in informal letters, but because this is an informal letter, they will still not mark you wrong if you're a student and you have used that one. You just want to emphasize a point. So these are some of the statements you can mention for your closing remarks. Okay, we have those letters that you write to parents. Feel free to end with your loving son, your loving daughter, your loving mother. All those ones are used because it is an informal letter anyway. Then the last one that we can talk about is the signature. We say that this one should come after you have written your conclusion, yours sincerely, yours your loving daughter, and then you write your signature. Signatures not so much encouraged in informal letters, but it is also optional for you to put them. You may want to put to ensure that your father knows that it's actually you who wrote the letter, not anyone else. And then you end with a name after the signature. Okay, let's look at the samples of the informal letters or friendly letters, personal letters. Okay, we have our question here. This person has participated in the Uganda fashion and design competitions and has won a prize. Now, this letter has a purpose. You have to inform the person you're writing it to, but also invite them. So as a student, every time you're writing a letter, make sure you look at what the question wants. This one has two purposes. You have to inform and then write. Invite. Let's continue and see. We have here, I think this one follows our steps that we have talked about them maybe in the previous video. And then even this very video in the beginning, there's a comma, there's a full stop, you can skip a line, then you have the date. This is our salutation, make it a paragraph. Then the same thing here. We say don't skip lines in your letter, but you just have to paragraph like this, leaving space from the margin, and then you begin from here. The same thing here when the paragraph ends, you do the same for another paragraph, like that. Okay, so in this letter, we expect to see that this person has informed this person about the competition that he or she participated in, and then he must have won a prize because that's what the question requires. And then what the prize is, it is up to you to mention it. And then here, this person must also be able to invite the other one to go and enjoy with them whatever they're going to do. So we can say that he actually invites this person to travel with them and to go and enjoy together. And then here the person has to conclude with yours sincerely. That's the emphasizing point. And then they have to put a signature to ensure that a friend knows this letter is not framing him or her, but it is actually written by himself. Okay, and then the name comes later. The second sample is actually having a question here. A friend of yours left the country for university education in the United States of America. Write a letter to him explaining how much you miss him. So this letter is actually much easier because it is having only one task. You only have to write explaining how much you miss the person, and that is all. So that is the only purpose of this letter. Now we should be able to see that exactly, and you see the format is okay. There is a line skipped here, you have the date here, we have here the salutation, and then this person must explain whatever that they do here, what they go through to miss the person. And then down here they have to sign off with the love from, and then they sign to ensure that that letter reaches the right person, and the person should have confidence that it is actually coming from a friend. Okay, that is all that we can talk about informal letters in this video. Want you to stay tuned for the next video, which is going to actually talk about the types of informal letters. And above all, I don't want to